Hi guys! Depending on who you watch on YouTube, you may or may not have heard of this year's installment of Cloak and Dagger Christmas. Cloak and Dagger Christmas is a loose readathon that takes place during the whole of the pre-Christmas period. It is hosted by Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures, Kate Howe, Kate the Novel Nomad, and Carolyn from Reading Ramblings, which I have all linked down below. This readathon is all about making time for coziness during this stressful and hectic period. And what could be cozier than crime, right? So our hosts have given us 6 challenges, or suggestions I guess would be a better word, and I'm going to go through all of them and tell you what books I picked for each of them. Challenge number 1 is O Tannenbaum, read a translated work. I have interpreted that as to mean read a book that's not written in English and is either translated or you can read it in the original. And I picked a German book for that. Now, that could be seen as cheating, but I think it would only be cheating if I usually read a lot of books in German, which I don't. November was the exception because November was named German Lit Month. But the overwhelming majority of all the books I read are written in English, so I decided that German counts for me for this challenge. The book I picked is a short novel by Swiss author Friedrich Dürrenmatt, Der Richter und sein Henker, or The Judge and His Hangman. I've only ever read Dürrenmatt's plays before, which I like a lot. These are all darkly cynical, but also very humorous because they usually contain a large portion of the absurd. I expect the humor to be largely absent from this book, so I expect it to be dark and cynical, less humorous. Challenge number 2. I saw 3 ships. Read a book in a location you don't usually read about. This book can double for that challenge, because when do I ever read a book that's set in Switzerland? The last time that happened must have been 10 years ago. Number 3. Silent Night. Read a book with an unknown adversary or a story full of secrets. This challenge puzzles me a bit because isn't that the case in just about every crime novel and mystery? I don't know, does a story count that is about the hunt for a serial killer who leaves messages for the detective who is hunting them? That would be Knots and Crosses by Ian Rankin. Challenge number 4, In the Bleak Midwinter. Read a book set in a cold climate, or one with a plot that makes your blood run cold. I chose the first interpretation for that, because it gives me the perfect excuse to read yet another book by Agatha Christie, although I have already read 5 of her books this year, and passages from her autobiography. But a couple of months ago I bought this very pretty edition of Murder on the Orient Express, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to read this. A cozy night or afternoon, which somehow never happened. So this readathon is the perfect opportunity, I guess. And this book is perfect for this readathon because it takes place during a night when the Orient Express is stuck in snow. So perfectly festive and Christmassy, I guess, except for the murder. Challenge number 5. I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Read a mystery involving Christmas. I gave my mother a copy of Murder at the Old Vicarage for Christmas last year, and I've been curious about it ever since. I can't borrow it from my mother, however, because I gave it to her in the German translation, but I am not going to read a classic, cozy British crime novel in a horrible German translation. So I bought the relatively cheap Kindle version. This is a Christmassy book. As you can tell from looking at the cover image, it is set in winter, but not only that, it is actually set during Christmas. Apparently it is the second book in a series. I hope you don't have to have read the first book to get the character dynamics. Oh well. When I put this book on my shopping list, I was recommended another cozy crime novel with a Christmas theme. Apparently a classic as well, which I hadn't heard of because I'm not an expert in cozy crime or British crime in general. The book is Another Little Christmas Murder by Lorna Nicholl. It is set in North Yorkshire, so extremely relevant to my interest. It came cheap, so I threw it in for good measure. And finally, challenge number 6. Come thou long-expected Jesus. Read a mystery you've been meaning to get to for a while. One that has been on my shelves for longer than any of the others that I mentioned in this video, and one that has been on my shelf too long, considering that it is tiny and would be a very quick read, is A Morbid Taste for Bones by Ellis. This is the first book in the Brother Cadfael series. This is a series of books about Benedictine English monk Cadfael, who apparently turns accidental detective when murders and crimes continue to happen all around him. I only learned about this series this year, but it is apparently a very famous and beloved classic series, and it was even turned into a TV show in the 90s. Of course, with Derek Jacobi in the main role. Of course, who else would it be in a period drama in the 90s? Anyhow, all of this is only what here on BookTube we call a pile of possibilities. Hello, Doris. In December, I also mean to get to a lot of cozy fantasy. I have now the whole of Catherine M. Valenti's Fairyland series on my shelf, and I'm hoping to also finally get to Wondersmith, the sequel to Nevermore, and perhaps also finally to The Winter of the Witch, the third and last volume in the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden. However, I am very much a mood reader. I am going to make an effort and practice some self-discipline when it comes to the readathon, to the Cloak and Dagger Christmas, especially since there are 2 books in my pile of possibilities that I think I would only enjoy during the Christmas period. I'm talking about the 2 cozy British crime novels that are set during the holidays. As for the rest, I'm making no promises, but these are all my good intentions. And that's what Christmas is all about, isn't it? It's the goodwill that counts. Anyhow, I am very much looking forward to the Cloak and Dagger Christmas readathon and the coziness that comes with it. That I'm hoping will come with it. I am going to start this readathon this following week because, if you ask me, we are well into the pre-Christmas period already. For me, the pre-Christmas period has always started on November 12th, because November 11th is St. Martin's Day, which was kind of a big deal in my childhood, and is still a big deal for a lot of children around here. But after this, after St. Martin's Day, it's Christmas time. I hope a lot of you will join in with the Cloak and Dagger Christmas readathon, or even if you don't, that you will have a very cozy pre-Christmas time anyway. Bye!